Well, Jews worldwide will be celebrating the Feast of Passover tonight. They'll also be grieving for the hostages still held captive in terror tunnels by Hamas.
Well, today, a top-ranking Israeli general has resigned over intelligence failures under his watch. Chris Mitchell reports from Jerusalem.
The head of Israel's military intelligence resigned his post, citing intelligence failures that led to the October 7th attack by Hamas. In his resignation letter, General Aharon Haliva wrote, "The intelligence directorate under my command did not live up to the task we were entrusted with. I carry that black day with me ever since, day after day, night after night. I will carry the horrible pain of the war with me forever." It's not clear if it will set the stage for more resignations, and some fear it comes at a dangerous time as Israel prepares for the Passover holiday and its troops are on high alert. Sunday night, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pledged to bring back the captives in Gaza.
On this Seder night, our hostages being held by Hamas are before our eyes. Their suffering and the suffering of their families rends our hearts and only strengthens our resolve to bring them back.
Netanyahu also took to social media to thank the U.S. Congress for passing critical military aid for Israel over the weekend. Yet Israeli leaders are also criticizing the U.S. State Department decision to sanction an Israeli battalion accused of torturing a West Bank Palestinian back in 2022. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant wrote, "Any attempt to criticize an entire unit casts a heavy shadow on the actions of the IDF, which operates to protect the citizens of Israel. Damage to one battalion affects the entire defense establishment. This is not the right path for partners and friends." Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik wrote on X, "Israel is currently fighting for her right to exist, and at a time when our greatest ally needs us the most. Joe Biden and Secretary Blinken are choosing to purposely undermine Israel to appease the pro-Hamas faction of the Democratic Party." Meanwhile, many Israeli troops won't be home to celebrate this week's Passover. Instead, they'll be guarding against threats from north, south, east, and west.
IDF forces are deployed along the entire length of the borders of the State of Israel to ensure the safety of the citizens of the State of Israel.
The Israeli government also released a video highlighting the plight of the hostages. It shows what Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Easter would look like without a family member at the table.
No family in the world should celebrate like this. 133 men, women, and children will not celebrate Passover with their families this year. On October 7th, they were abducted from their homes, and now they are held captive in Hamas terror tunnels.
At Seders in Israel and around the world, some Jews will be leaving one seat empty to remember those hostages. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, let's remember the hostages. This Passover, let's remember there's some empty chairs around Passover Seder services, and we need to remember that they need to come home. In all of the talk of what Israel is doing in this war, what would we do? What would you do if a family member was abducted by a terror group and held in a tunnel somewhere? It makes no sense to criticize them for their actions. They didn't start this. Hamas did.